What's up, everyone? Christian Witte here. Gonna do a little review on the new Ninja Turtles film. Just came out today. I went and saw it at 10:45 for $8 in 3D. AMC, the first showing of the day, $8. So that was an awesome deal. I definitely recommend catching this in 3D if you can get a good deal. Later on in the day, it's like goes up to $11, and then evenings like $18 for 3D. But 3D would be an awesome way to go if it's not going to break the bank, and if you're a real fan of the franchise. If you're just so on the film where you just kind of want to see it, standard would be just fine. It wasn't necessarily like a ride at Universal where this film was made for 3D. But it definitely added some awesome feeling and awesome element into the film, especially like they really captured New York, especially like the low angle shots, especially in traffic, people walking by and around the cars. It felt like you were in the city for real, especially the higher up shots capturing the skyscrapers, taller buildings. That was really cool. I'm gonna relate this one also to the first film. I love the first film. And I might say a lot of negatives, but those are what's on my mind right now. I don't want you to think this is a bad movie, but there's definitely some things that needed to be adjusted, in my opinion. For instance, they took some liberties in this film, but not as many as, say, like previous Michael Bay production, like Transformers 2, where he created a whole new story. I left that theater pissed. If I had like an AC unit or something nearby and he was on premises, I would have loved to have attacked him with that. It would have been the second time he would have been attacked by an AC unit. That's why I say that. But he wasn't. Yeah, they did do some liberties, but not enough to really ruin the film, but get me disappointed in a way. Like the foot soldiers now, for instance, they're no longer ninjas with like weapons like bow staffs or nunchucks, swords, or even throwing stars. Those weren't in the film with the foot soldiers. They were like Marines. They were military with machine guns and rocket launchers. RPGs. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. The film really lacked, I want to say, this really lacked martial arts, hand-to-hand combat. Normally, like in the older films, even the bad films, the cartoons, the comic books, they'll go in and they'll take on 100 foot soldiers in one scene. This film, in its entirety, probably about 20 to 40. 40's too high. More around the 20 foot soldiers they took on hand to hand. That really left me wanting more with the film. They did use their weapons as a plus. If you notice in Secret of the Ooze, the sequel to the original, they didn't. They weren't allowed. Their sponsors and stuff, they're like, no, the first one was too awesome. It was too violent. So then they just got way too cartoony and they weren't allowed to use their weapons. They did use their weapons in this film. But yeah, the whole military thing with the foot soldiers was that was new to me. I didn't care for that. The Shredder suit was definitely different. It looked cool when I first saw it. He wasn't wearing it. You just see it on the wall and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I can deal with that. But then he put it on, and he turns into like a transformer. That's like this super can opener in a way. He's got all these blades that come out of his arms everywhere, where they just shoot out, and he's got this like magnetic thing on his gloves where the blades that he shoots out come back perfectly to his glove, where he keeps shooting more blades over and over and over again. It's like, I don't know. I didn't get that. The outfit in the first film, that was spot on. I mean, it was just like the cartoons, the comic books. and it wasn't broken, so why go to fix it? I can absolutely understand putting your own spin on the thing. You're not remaking the same movie. You're doing, you know, the same movie, but a little different, you know, changing with the times. But like that was pretty drastic. And so all of his movements then become like CGI, except for like, you know, the slow scenes where it like turns around slow and he looks at you. Yeah, that's me. That's him looking at you. But then the fight sequences, then, I mean, it's all got to be CGI. So, you know, especially with the turtles now, you got a whole new feel for the film. They're huge. They're scary looking. I do prefer the look in the first film, the costumes. They just had a more like realistic feel, like look to them. Where these were just big, scary. It's like when they really come on screen, you're like, all right, this is more of like one of those CGI animated cartoon films for the kids that are always in the theaters. I don't know the name of them, but you know the names of them. So then you kind of got to accept that. Yes, this is a Ninja Turtles film. This is for kids, but you know, it's also for big kids too. The story was pretty good. They didn't take many liberties with the story. They did tweak some stuff around, but that was good. I dug it. I dug the writing. The performances by a lot of the actors were good. Megan Fox was hot. But it's like she just kind of came in, said her lines, and left. Like, I don't have to act if I don't want to. She was like she is the main character in the film, even more so than the Ninja Turtles, and she's like one of the only human actors in the film. So I don't know. I would have preferred maybe somebody with a little bit more acting backbone, but this isn't like going to be some epic acting performances going on in these Ninja Turtle films. You know, it's more eye candy popcorn films. So yeah, I mean, yeah, she's great to look at, but you know, like I said, I don't have to act if I don't want to. What else? One thing that was interesting was there was a scene in the third act of the film where, if you've seen the trailers, you know the scene I'm talking about. It takes place, it looks like it's in the snowy tundra, and you're like, wow, where's this? You know, they're going off to some foreign land. Yeah, they're in New York. They're 40 minutes outside of Times Square. Now, they're surrounded by like 40 feet of snow everywhere. They're in the mountains. There's cliffs and everything. It's like, where in New York is this? No one knows. This is in upstate New York. This is going to be that would be 3 hours away, and upstate New York doesn't look like that. That was obviously thrown in there for just eye candy. It was cool. They added elements, snow, sliding. That action sequence was cool, but like I said earlier, it was more focused on like high-flying action sequences than martial arts hand-to-hand combat. But the scene was cool, and there was a lot of humor in it too. And the humor in the film overall was great. Michelangelo was funny. He really stole the show with the comedy, like he always does. This time, I think it was probably the funniest out of all the films. A lot of pop culture references too. They did some. The Christian Bale Batman voice they did in the film, that was funny. They even added a funny Lost reference. I mean, I love the show Lost, and they had a very aptly placed Lost reference in there, which I got several ha-has out of that. So the humor in the film was good. Raphael got pretty much the majority of the screen time, which is awesome. I'm cool with that. Donatello had a few cool scenes, not too many. Leonardo's, you know, I want to say surprisingly, but that's just the pattern it goes over the last few films. Is he doesn't get a lot of whole screen time, and he's really not that cool of a character in the films. You know, compared to the cartoon, he's their leader, he's the man. A lot of the episodes in the cartoons were based after him. Not in the films. They really focus on Raphael. But that was cool. I mean, that's my man right there, and he was awesome. Voice acting was fine. Voice acting was cool. Let's see. I think that might be it. It wasn't a bad film. I did enjoy my time there. I'd have to give it 3 out of 5 stars, unfortunately. I probably would see it again one more time. I would not rush to go get this on Blu-ray the day it comes out, but I'll give it one more time, and I'll probably wrap it up with one more viewing. It's that, I mean, yeah, if you're a fan, definitely you got to. I recommend the film for fans. But that's it. Yeah, like I said before, I definitely left the movie wanting more. Not in a good way. You know, it was a 2-hour film. Took a little while to get going. It was a little slow. So, I mean, maybe they could have cut that down and added in a few more hand-to-hand combat sequences. But maybe that's just too hard with CGI. I doubt it, but I don't know what their excuse was. And that's pretty much it. The battles with Shredder were pretty good. You know, he beats the crap out of him as usual. Other than that, it was solid. Yeah, if you can catch a good deal on it, especially $8 for 3D, definitely. That's a fun day out. Anyway, that's pretty much it, my thoughts on the new Ninja Turtles film. Definitely appreciate the first film a lot more. Much more Christopher Nolan-esque style film, ahead of its time. But it was much darker, you know. It's like that film should have been made this year. And this film should have been made back in like '89 or early '90s when the first film was made. It's like they did it backwards. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm also doing my Jobless in LA diary. I gotta do episode 3 probably coming up this week. So check out those videos. You can hit those thumbs up buttons. People always say those in those videos, in these kind of videos. Hit the like button. I don't have one yet, so you could be the first. And I promise you'll get a surprise if you're the first person to like any of my videos. A big surprise. Huge surprise. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful, fun-filled day.